Yeah, so I was charging $45 for a haircut before. I'm now charging 70 for a haircut, and I went from 4K a month to I just hit my first 10K month. And I invested that money I was making into my first mentorship program. Once my perspective changed and I realized what was possible if you leverage social media, that was enough to get me to take the risk and take the leap of faith to drop out and pursue barbering full time. Not that you don't have the time for it, it's not a high enough priority in your life. When I made content and scaling my barber business as my top priority, everything else got sacrificed. But if you're getting 1 million views of people over in California, but you're cutting hair in New York, that's not gonna do you any good. 1,000 people that see your video in your city, that does way more. Everything is possible if you take the right inputs and take the right daily actions to work towards it.
And then, like, what was the most amount of new clients you ever got in a week or in a 30-day period?
Dude, I had 109 new clients in 30 days.
What is good, YouTube? We're here with my guy, Larry. He's had some crazy results working with us over the last few months, and we're just going to go ahead and get into his journey, right? Get a lot of value out of it. If you guys are just scrolling or if you guys are just on my page, right, I recommend you guys stop, watch to the end because there's going to be a ton of value in this video for his entire journey on how he was able to go from just a few $1,000s a month to now getting booked out at $70 a cut, hitting his first $10,000 in 1 month. Larry, for those of you that don't know, do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself and kind of, where were you at a few months ago, and then kind of where did you scale your business to now?
Yeah, so what's up, guys? My name is Larry. I cut hair out of Bloomington, Illinois. It's a smaller town in the Midwest. Yeah, I was cutting hair back in like May. I was only making $4,000 a month. I was being booked out about like a week in advance and had steady clientele, but my income wasn't able to really scale and grow past that. And I kind of hit a plateau. I've been doing content for 2 years, posting a lot of faith-based posts, and I grew my Instagram to like 15K followers. However, none of my posts ever converted into clients or came into the business. So I wasn't able to really see business growth, even though the social media was growing.
100%. And then kind of income wise, like where are you at now? Like where's your business? How much are you charging now?
Yeah, so I was charging $45 for a haircut before. I'm now charging 70 for a haircut, and I went from 4K a month to I just hit my first 10K month.
Let's go.
Yes, sir.
So Larry, man, just to get into your journey, right? You have a really interesting journey, right? I would say, because a lot of barbers, they don't even start at being booked out at 40 a cut. And then for the ones that are booked out at 40 a cut, they kind of just stay there. Like, what made you think that there was more than just being booked out a week in advance at 40 a cut, hitting 4K a month? Because for most barbers, that's kind of the dream.
Yeah, honestly, it goes back to 2 years ago. I had invested in my first mentorship program, and this mentorship program was a big step and a big risk for me. And I wasn't consistent, or I didn't put enough work in to see the results. However, what it did for me was completely change my perspective on the industry. I realized that 10, 15, 20K plus months was possible as a barber. And before that, the median salary of a barber is like 40, 50, maybe 60K a year. But this perspective completely changed it for me. And I decided I could go all in, and I just knew I had it in me. Like, there was something that I just knew I could do it.
Yes, sir. So kind of just to get like back to your story, right? How did you even get into barbering in the first place?
Yeah, so barbering was something I just liked watching videos on back in middle school. And in middle school, that's what I found as entertainment. And then high school came around, and I had my 5th major concussion in high school, and that put me out severely. Like, I only went to one in-person class and wasn't really able to make it to school consistently. So I wasn't going to be a reliable employee anywhere. So barbering was something I looked into because I had the flexibility to create my own schedule. And that was very enticing for me. And I had 3 buddies I just chopped up for free, and they were my guinea pigs, and I practiced on them. And until I got their haircut solid, then more people started to come, and it kind of started from there. And it's something I just never stopped doing, and I fell in love with it more and more.
Yes, sir. And then like kind of beyond that, I know I saw a little bit of your story, but like how old are you and kind of what was the moment that you decided to go all in on barbering? Because I know you're 20 years old, right?
Yeah, I'm 20.
Most 20-year-olds, they're in college, like, and I saw in your story you're not. So like what was your story of kind of wanting to go all in on barbering? Like what was your thought process?
So I started cutting hair at 17 and then moved up to Bloomington for college. I was around like 18, 19 years old, was cutting hair while I was at college for the semester I was there. And around this time was when I built up a stable clientele for myself, and I invested that money I was making into my first mentorship program. Once my perspective changed and I realized what was possible if you leverage social media, that was enough to get me to take the risk and take the leap of faith to drop out and pursue barbering full time. I knew I could progress way more and faster if I only had to focus on the business rather than trying to multitask and focus on the business and finishing college.
Right. And I feel like a lot of barbers who are in college, like, what would you say to the barber in college that is kind of scared to take that leap? And like, they see all these barbers online hitting this like 10K a month, and they feel like that's just unrealistic. And then, they're probably better off just working like a traditional career, even though they know deep down that they would enjoy the life better as a barber.
Yeah.
What would you tell me?
Yeah. So for that, what I would say is at the end of the day, it's perspective. If they believe they can't achieve it, they won't. But if they believe they can, you will. And for me, I really thought about it. And college was like this backup plan and this plan B of like, oh, if barbering doesn't work out, then I have a degree I can go back and fall on. But deep down, I knew I didn't want to fall back on a degree. I didn't want to be at a 9 to 5 office job. I didn't want to be being told when I could take breaks or when I could go on vacation. Like, I knew I didn't want these things, so why would I allow myself to have a plan that could get me there? I'd rather have the faith in myself that I'll make it happen and ultimately trust God's plan with it.
100%. And they always say like plan B kills the plan A, right?
100%.
100%. So I guess after that moment, you decided to go all in. Like, obviously the plan back then was to hit 10K months. Did it go as smoothly as you planned, or did you run into any struggles kind of along the way?
It did not go as smoothly as planned at all. I was trying to hit it 2 years ago and started the content and had a lot of inconsistency, and I didn't realize how much work it was going to take. And I always made excuses or something popped up in life, whether it's a medical thing or it's a relationship or it's a financial position you're in, or a living situation you're in, even like whatever it may be, there's always something you could justify why you're making excuses or why you're not taking action. But at the end of the day, you just have to take action no matter what.
100%. What would you say to the people that were in any of the situations that you might have been in, or, the person that does say that they don't have time to do the work that it takes to scale, right?
Yeah. So for me, a big thing I used to tell myself was I just don't have enough time for it. But at the end of the day, it's not that you don't have the time for it. It's not a high enough priority in your life. When I made content and scaling my barber business as my top priority, everything else got sacrificed. Like, that was number one, to where I didn't go hang out with people. I didn't have much of a social life. And that was a sacrifice I made because I knew it was needed in order to get to where I wanted to be.
100%. And I would say too, another thing is like, people don't realize that this like grind phase, it's not permanent. You don't have to live the rest of your life like that, right? That's where building systems comes in, right? How important was it for you to build systems in your business, whether that was with the editor or just in other areas, to where, you could kind of win your time back eventually and just play the long game?
Yeah, getting an editor was the biggest step for me. Like, whenever I was trying to record and edit and do everything, I had no time for nobody. And now that I've got an editor, taking the whole editing process off of my hands has freed up time to now I can spend time with loved ones or people around me in the evenings when I'm done at the shop, because I no longer have to worry about getting everything done on the back end.
100%. And then I guess going back to like your original problem with like the business when we first started working together, can you like describe that a little more? Like, what was the main problems that you were facing back then?
The main problems was the content I was posting. I didn't have any direction or really real purpose behind the content I was posting. It wasn't converting into clients or bringing in any new growth for the business. I was still booked out about a week in advance. However, I was dealing with clients that didn't fully trust me. They would be peeking in the mirror while I'm cutting them, or just being extra picky or critical, to where I wasn't attracting the clientele I ultimately wanted to have.
100%. And then I guess like, yeah, how did you feel in that situation, like being in there for so long in that same loop? Because a lot of people stay in that loop.
Yeah, I would say for me, I tried to take action as soon as possible, so I wasn't in a loop for too long. But it's just, the days start to blend together and everything feels like the same, and it's a blur of, oh, back at the shop cutting again. And it's just like endless loop with no real target or goal in mind.
For you, like, yeah, for you, like, what Was there a moment you realized you had to kind of change this and like, do something about it?
Yeah, when I realized my income wasn't growing each month and it was just staying the same, I realized I needed to take action and do something in order to allow myself to be able to increase that number and to continue to grow.
100%. I guess you knew that this was possible, like reaching this level in barbering, right? But did you ever have any kind of limiting beliefs? Like, I know you're in a small town, did you ever feel like, my town is too small to charge a higher price? Did you ever feel like my clients aren't going to pay, $70 for a haircut? Or just think that like all these barbers that you saw, making 10K a month, did you feel like that was possible for you, or did you have like any things of why you felt like it wouldn't work for you?
Yeah, to be honest, I had confidence it was gonna work, but I had a lot of doubt because it took a lot longer than I expected.
Right.
But once I had the first video kind of pop off and it brought clients in, and I got my first client to book from a video, that's when everything changed. I was like, wow, this is working. This will happen. I had people around me though too that I really value and love, but they even kind of put their projections onto me of thinking, oh, it needs to take more time, or you're too young, or you haven't been cutting long enough, or you're just at the start of your journey, like slow down. That
Right.
kind of had me thinking like, man, do I need to slow down? Is this too quick? Like, do I need to establish more before I increase my prices? But I already had a good skill set. I just didn't know how to market it correctly.
100%. And that's why you were able to see such quick growth, right?
Yeah.
How quickly did you see like results after you started implementing like our systems and after we started jumping on calls, right? How quickly did you actually see results?
Bro, with you, it was insane. Like, I've been in 2 other mentorships and like I never seen clients come in from a video after putting in like weeks and months of working with it. It was within the first week. Like, it was
I remember, yeah.
7 videos I posted. It got over like 20 or 30K on TikTok. And I hadn't been posting on TikTok until I talked to you and you told me to hop on TikTok. And one of the first like 7 videos I posted, yeah, like it got 20 to 30K views and I got 3 new clients booked off of that video. And that was the big turning point for me.
100%. I guess too with that, right? You say 20, 30K views, which is really good, right? But I feel like a lot of people would expect that, in order to make 10K a month as a barber, that means that you need to consistently hit millions and millions of views, right? What would you say to those people?
Oh no, that's a complete lie. I don't have one
Right.
video that was a barbering content video that got 1 million views. It's all about the quality of the viewers. Like, you can have a large audience and have quantity, but if you're getting 1 million views of people over in California, but you're cutting hair in New York, that's not gonna do you any good. 1,000 people that see your video in your city, that does way more, and that actually worth the
100%.
clients.
Yes, sir. And with you being in a small town too, did you experience like, I don't know, how was that experience? Did you ever have people driving like, outside of the city? You always see online like these barbers that are like, oh yeah, my client drove from the other city. Did you ever think that was fake, or like, did it ever happen to you?
Yeah, honestly, when I would see other barbers post those videos, I'm like, oh, that's probably scripted. Like, especially the ones driving like over an hour or 2 hours away. I would be like, oh, that might be scripted. But then as I started posting content, I have people driving an hour recurring that are coming for a haircut. Or I've had a couple clients that have drove over 2 hours for a haircut.
And how did you like, were you surprised, or was it just like,
Yeah, I was surprised. I kind of knew the word would spread with me posting the content, but to see somebody really value my work from watching my videos and have that much trust and faith in my skill set, that was an unreal feeling.
yeah. What do you feel like was your biggest win in these like 4 months, or some big wins? Was it 4 months around there? What do you think have been some big wins?
I would say a big win is the type of people it's brought into my chair. Yeah, the energy, the positivity, the level my new clients are coming in with is something I didn't have when I was at a lower price point. And I really am open about my faith, and I try and keep that at the core of everything I'm doing. And now I'm having clients coming in looking forward to having the faith-based conversation, being able to have that door be open and have those conversations a lot easier. And I'm able to go a little bit deeper now.
100%. As Christians, right? Like, I'm Christian, you're Christian, right? As Christian business owners, how important do you feel like it is that, we try and include that as best we can within the business, right? Because, the main point of the business is to serve other people, right? And how do you feel about like, being a Christian business owner, right? How do you feel like that can, I guess help serve like God's kingdom?
Yeah, I think having your faith and following Jesus as you're running a business is huge because, one, the character you need to be able to properly serve clients and people that sit in your chair, like that character is built from God. Like it's hard to build that character on your own, to have a loving heart or a compassionate and empathetic heart. Like those are characteristics that become much easier to have when you're looking to God and not at yourself. And then you're just able to love and pour into other people a lot more. And I think the importance of having him at the foundation of what you're doing is it's very difficult to get yourself into the trap of you're your own God or you're doing this for you. Like it's a bigger purpose behind it. And for me, like that's my fuel because I know I'm not doing it for me. I'm waking up every day and cutting hair and talking to these clients because at the end of the day, I just want to point people to Jesus. And God's blessed me with the opportunity to have that leadership position and to be able to be somebody that can do that for others.
100%, man. I feel like that's the biggest thing, right? It's just about having a purpose greater than yourself. Like, yeah, it's cool to make money and all that, but the real value is like how you're impacting other people.
Yeah, so having my first income coming in from TikTok has been unreal. Like I didn't think I was actually gonna be making money off TikTok for real. And to see that actually playing out has been amazing. It's been a blessing. As far as brand deals, like it's not something I really thought about before. And that's something you've really opened my eyes to of that opportunity and something I really want to continue looking into.
Yes, sir. And then like for most barbers, right, they're only making money from just the cutting hair. I don't know, like how does it feel to now have the potential to where you're about to be having three streams of income as a barber?
That's a blessing in itself because with only one income stream, you're stuck trading your physical time for your money that's gonna provide for you. But the more streams you can add, and the more streams I can add, will help give me the flexibility to not always have to trade my physical time, and ultimately will give me more freedom.
100%. I guess for you too, like, did you have to, get rid of any bad habits or build any good habits along this like journey? Like, this is also a personal development journey for most people. Like, what was that like for you?
Yeah, so bad habits I had before was just like hanging out with people late, going out to parties and stuff, and smoking or drinking. Like once I found my faith, God really like he worked on me and I stepped away and didn't have the desire to do those things. But smoking was still something I struggled with to where that's something I had to really let go of because it wasn't making me more productive. I was feeling more groggy. I was less motivated. And that was a big obstacle or a big hindrance I had to let go of. And
100%.
also just surrounding myself and talking to people on a day-to-day basis that get it, that have the same mindset, that have the same drive, and not putting as much time and energy into the people that just don't understand.
100%. Yeah, because it's like they say you're gonna be who you surround yourself with, right?
100%.
You feel like that's true?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. Was there a point along like the journey of you scaling from 4K a month to 10K a month where you felt like, you were stuck, it wasn't working and you almost gave up, or was it a pretty smooth process? Was there a point where you were really nervous?
Before I was working with you, I was stuck at like the 4, maybe 5K a month at best. And once I started working with you, though, it was pretty smooth sailing. Like it was constant growth.
Yeah.
Just constantly refined and adjusted the content as we progressed. I would say though, like the jump from $55 to $70 a haircut was like, I was scared. I was like, am I really doing this? Are people really gonna continue to pay? Am I gonna continue to be booked out? I was booked out a month in advance at 55, and that was all new to me, and that felt amazing. And then I had people around me saying, no, like you just jumped to 55, slow down on the 70, like give it some time. But at the end of the day, speed wins business, and speed's important.
Right.
And I got over that fear and took the jump, and it's paid off.
So like for you, right? I always tell people like for us, pretty much every call we had, it was really just about how can we keep winning? How can we double down on what's already working, right? And you mentioned you already had been in other mentorships in the past. And, I feel like this is the case for a lot of people, right? They don't understand the work that it takes. All right. So like what traits do you feel like made you so successful to the point where, you were able to have such a drastic change in a few months? Do you think this is possible for anyone, or do you feel like, you have to have some type of like some key traits such as like discipline, willing to take risks, working hard, showing up every day?
Yeah, I would say it's definitely possible for everyone if they have a few specific traits. Like you have to be disciplined. Like if you're not disciplined, it's not going to work out. You're not going to stay with it. because there's days where you don't feel like doing it, but you still have to get it done. The risk, because it's an investment at the end of the day. Like, you're paying to get the knowledge from somebody who's already done it and has been successful. And you're also investing into a network of people that are like-minded, like you, that will push you, motivate you as well. So the investment thing was something you got to be willing to take the risk and invest in yourself. And another big thing is being open to criticism or open to feedback. Like, you can't think you have it all figured out. Like, if you have a willingness to learn and understand, like, you don't know everything, or else you would be in that position already, and you just soak in as much information as you can and just be a sponge, like, you'll thrive.
100%. What do you feel like the most valuable thing that you got out of working with me was? Was it the systems for kind of how to scale, like knowing your numbers and stuff? Was it the feedback loops that we had? Was it the modules, the calls? Like, what do you feel like you got the most value out of?
I would say 100% the feedback loops. Like, I got feedback from you in a quick time span, and I got a lot of it. Like, anytime I had a question, you're answering. And anytime I wanted help on something, you'll help. And it's that one-on-one that I really loved and valued and has really helped me, is that one-on-one work.
Yes, sir. And like, how important do you feel like it is to have, for someone to have feedback loops when scaling a business, right? And kind of getting someone to always either, like, correct what they're doing or be like, this is good, keep pushing this, let's double down.
I think it's
Have a second perspective.
Yeah, I think it's very important to have that feedback loop and that one-on-one help, because I've been in mentorships before where they're giving you the information and the things you need to do, but it's kind of like, okay, look at this. This is what you need to do. Now, good luck. Like,
Right.
with you, it's you're walking with me step by step whenever I need it. And whenever I'm doing good, it's just like cheering me on and encouragement of like, keep doubling down.
100%. How important too was it to, like, I guess for you, were you ever tracking your numbers before? Or was this kind of something new to you with like the whole systems of, the price rate systems and the finance systems and like just having those numbers? Is that something new or?
Yeah, that was definitely new. I hadn't been tracking my finances or tracking any of my numbers.
Okay. And what change did that make for you? Like, once you started, did you notice any changes?
Yeah, I was just a lot more intentional. Making sure I had enough cuts each week, to make sure I'm bringing in new clients each week, or to seeing how the content's truly converting.
Okay. And then, like, what was the most amount of new clients you ever got in a week or in a 30-day period?
Dude, I had 109 new clients in 30 days.
It's insane.
Yeah,
That's insane. And did you ever think you would get to 100 new clients in 30 days?
No, absolutely not. That was unreal. Yeah, that was purely God.
That's a huge milestone. Yeah, I guess what made you kind of want to like invest? Was it just like that you felt like, you didn't want to continue staying stuck and just take that leap, or?
Yeah, I was tired of being stuck. I knew I could achieve more and there was more out there. I just didn't have the guidance or the direction to really figure it out.
Yes,
I
sir.
didn't look at it as an expense of, oh, I got to spend this much money. Like, no, it's an investment. I'm learning from somebody who's done it, and I'm paying for that knowledge and wisdom and that guidance.
What would you say to like the person that feels like, they were in your position, but they're thinking, maybe I can do this on my own. It's not worth, I know these things are not cheap. Like, it's really not worth the money. Let me just try and continue trying to figure this out. What would you honestly say?
Yeah, for that, like, you may be able to get a video to pop off like once in a blue moon by just copying and pasting other barbers. But there's little details, and there's a true system and intentionality behind the content that you're not going to understand by just watching people's videos. And
Yeah.
like, Bristol shared the education with me to where now I understand the format of the videos, of why they work and why they actually convert into clients. And just, it's going to save you time. Like, you could figure it out, but it's going to take you way longer. Like, you have the blueprint, you have the guidance and the direction, if you just take that step and make that investment.
100%. And then I guess one more thing too, like with copying, right? I feel like people just think that it's just about copying content, right? And like what you learn and what we teach is literally just how to make content, how to blow up, right? Do you feel like that's the case, or do you feel like it's a lot deeper than that? And, do you feel like you got some value and some knowledge on how to scale a business?
Oh, I 100% got a lot of knowledge and value on how to scale a business. Like, tracking your numbers, that's something I overlooked. Like, that's so important to do. Like, that's part of scaling and growing a business.
I would say, yeah, too. And just knowing when to take those like calculated risks.
Yeah, so when you're tracking the numbers and you're doing the back end work that needs to be done, that a lot of us barbers overlook, then you know exactly when it's a safe bet to raise your prices. It's never a guess or a gamble. Like, it's strategically based off the numbers you have.
100%. And then how important was it for you too to learn how to work on the business and not just cutting hair in the business?
Yeah, that was the big thing of like if you're cutting hair all day and that's all or all your time and energy you're just putting into just cutting people's hair, you're gonna be stuck. You're gonna be in an instant loop and you're never really gonna see growth. But when you're able to take a step back and maybe cut back a little bit on how much you're actually physically cutting, to put time into the content, to put time into the editing and working on the business and growing it on social media, then you start to see a lot more growth. Because yeah, you can't work on the business if you're always in the business.
100%. Did you ever have like any fears of like raising prices or recording content as far as like what other people would say? Like was fear of judgment ever something that you struggled with?
Oh yeah, that was a big thing. Like I'm at a shop and I'm the only one recording videos. Like had like the Barber videos, I'm the only one. And I got two big ring lights like showcasing me and my client. And that's kind of out of the other guys in the shop's comfort zone to where I'm standing out doing that. And I got there was negative feedback by just people that come into the shop at the start. And it wasn't until the results started to come where everybody's supportive of it. And everybody's then they're on your side and they see it because it works. But
100%.
at the starting, like you just have to have faith. Whenever you're starting, you just have to have faith it's going to work out and just trust yourself and trust God with it. Don't care what other people think, because if they're not in a position you would want to be in, why worry what they think?
100%. That's like some of the best advice you could ever give. Was there any particular other mentee in the community that like really connected with you or really like stood out to you, kind of helped you to push to be better? Someone that like, yeah.
Yeah, I would say two people that really stood out to me was Jeff. Jeff was always consistent. I would see him on the calls, but he would post every day. Like I wouldn't see Jeff miss a post. And like seeing his stories pop up, like, oh, okay, I need to get my stories up, make sure mine are up. Or he made a post, okay, let me make sure my posts are up. He's just somebody his videos would pop up specifically to where I just saw his consistency and that like helped push me.
Yes, sir. And like, I guess one more time back to the community, like how important was it for you to have a community of like-minded barbers that you can connect with?
Yeah, I think it was very important just because you're able to help uplift and motivate each other on each other's posts or reach out to them if you have any questions. And you're just all in it together. Like there's nobody around in my city that is thinking the way I think or is taking the approach I'm wanting to take. So the community has helped me find those people that are like-minded and approaching barbering in the same manner. And that's been amazing to be able to be a part of like a team. Whenever I dropped out of Illinois State University after kind of having my perspective changed on the barber industry, I started out of barber college because I needed to get my license. I wanted to go about things the right way just to perfect my shear work, because shear work is something that a lot of barbers overlook, but that is the foundation of every haircut. Like you can have a crispy and blurry fade, but if the shear work and the shape of the haircut's not on point, it's not going to be a good haircut. So being able to really perfect my craft and my skill set, and I'm still learning, but being willing to learn in that area as well of the technique of haircuts and shear work has allowed me to be able to provide a service that is worth a premium price point.
100%. Yeah, like how important do you feel like it is to provide that service, and especially like solving problems for your clients? Because I feel like a lot of people also, they have the misconception that like you can just have a bad service and have a bad fulfillment and just slap on $100 price tag and that's it.
Yeah, I mean, if you're charging a high price and social media converts, but your haircuts and service are bad, you're just going to have a bunch of one-time clients. You want to retain your clients because then it's lifetime value of the clients. And a client is much more than just like $100 or $70 price tag. It's a relationship you're building that you get to pour into and serve somebody the rest of your barber journey. Like you get to play a vital role in celebrating small or big wins of people's lives. And that goes into the experience. You have to love and actually care for people, because you're cutting people on their big wedding days, their interview days. Maybe it's an anniversary, they have a date night. Like maybe something serious just went down. You got to be a therapist for an hour.
100%. I guess lastly, how important was it for you to like be, how did you improve your confidence on the camera?
Yeah, so with getting more confident, it was with reps of just recording more content. But something else I made a goal for myself was elevating my wardrobe. I really wanted to elevate how I was dressing, because whenever I'm seeing myself put together on camera, that naturally brings more confidence. And I also feel a lot more professional, and I'm stepping into that barber that actually charges a premium price point. Like I'm not faking it. I was dressing like in casual clothing I'm pulling up to the shop in sweatpants and some Crocs. Like, nobody's gonna take you serious. If you take yourself serious and you have that confidence, other people will take you serious and professional.
100%. And then lastly, man, like what is next, right? You already hit your first 10K a month. What is next? Like where are we going to be at in the next year? Where are we going to be at in the next 5 years? Like what's the next vision for Larry?
The next vision, I want to hit 20K a month.
Let's go.
I want to continue to systemize the content. So the content and social media thing is outsourced to where I have very little input, and it's more so managerial and confirming things. And then I also want to look into brand deals, possibly get a brand deal. And something else I could foresee is maybe a merch drop or something.
That would be fire. Yes, sir. So you guys are going to see Larry back on here for the 20K a month interview soon.
Yes, sir.
As far as pricing, what is the goal? Are we going to see a 70?
Oh, no, 100%. I want to at least get to 100 a haircut, at least.
Hey, 100 a cut. Let's go. Yes, sir. Hopefully you guys made it to the very end. Hopefully there was a lot of value for you guys. Again, Larry is literally one of probably the best clients that we've ever worked with, just because he has that consistency, right? He has the discipline, and you know, he did his 50% of the work, right? All we had to do was just come up with a plan for him, and boom, you know, Larry's on it. He's executing because he has the drive, right? He has the determination, he has the discipline, he has the skill set and the mindset to actually succeed. He already came in here mentally being a $10,000 a month barber. All he needed was the knowledge to actually achieve it. Make sure you guys drop a follow, right? If you guys want to see more videos like this, just go ahead and subscribe. I'll leave a playlist right here too. Larry, any final words for anybody?
If you believe you can make it happen, you can make it happen. Don't give up on your dreams. Dream bigger. Everything is possible if you take the right inputs and take the right daily actions to work towards it.
100%. Let's get it, bro. Again, I appreciate you guys watching to the end, and we'll see you guys in the next one.